How's it going, everybody? We are back again for another Dokkan battle video, and today we got a whole bunch of updates on both sides of the game, mainly JP's next upcoming update, which should be going live probably in a few days from now, roughly-ish, and then Global just got off their, 16-hour maintenance or whatever. So I'm going to break down both updates. Global isn't as massive as JP's, but I will go over it regardless. So without further ado,
let's talk about it.
So we got a couple of things to talk about, right? Number one, the main big thing that I know that's on everybody's mind is the same name update, right? Will the units link up? No, unfortunately, you can run multiple characters that have the exact same name, like for example, all the UI Gokus, Int, Physical, SCR, they all share the exact same name. However, they will not link together, which it's a bummer. It definitely sucks, but there's a couple of points I want to bring up. While it does suck that it's not going to happen right away, I do believe that this could potentially come in the future. I think right now, the game is probably, the Dokkan devs, they're gonna implement this same name update into the game, see where this goes on, how well the community reacts to it. Obviously, right now the community is not reacting too well to it, but I think after maybe a few months or more, maybe later this year, we might see the implementation of links being relevant in terms of the same name characters. But as of right now, if you can run however many characters you want that have the same name on the team, they will not link together at all. And there are also some certain stages of events in the game that will not allow you to run certain same name characters together in certain stages, such as EZAs, which really isn't a huge deal. The same name update really only applies to the harder events that really matter, like Super Battle Road, long events, so on and so forth. EZAs are kind of a joke, so it's really, again, not that huge of a deal. But yeah, the community is definitely not taking too happy about this. I did post about it. Well, this is more talking about the maintenance, but there was this one guy who got confused, which is fine, it's not a huge deal. But somebody did make a good point about this. If they implemented the links in the same name update as well, the game would be a joke. As of right now, currently in the game, as far as Global and JP goes, there are no hard events in the game outside of Extreme Super Battle Road and the new God of Destruction event over on JP Dokkan. That resembles maybe 5-10% of the entire game, and maybe a little bit more. That's about it. And then the rest of the game is a joke. If characters with the same name were allowed to link up together at the same time like that, and you could run multiple copies of them, for example, a full UI Goku team, for example, it would be a joke. The game would already be easier as it is. And he points out right here, the game would be easier since they'll link up together and go from hard to a bit easy. He's somewhat new to Dokkan, but he'll probably be able to finish more events faster if they linked up. Yes, it would make the game a lot easier, but that's not what the community wants. Aside from being a new player, sure, that's one thing, because obviously when you first start out, the game is automatically hard. Okay, you obviously are getting your units, yada yada yada. But for the large majority of the Dokkan player base, most of us have been playing for at least 2+ years, if not more. Me in particular, I've been playing since the 2-year anniversary, so we're coming up on right before. So I'm coming up on my 4-year anniversary of the game, and like I said, outside of Extreme Super Battle Road, there's not even that. Currently on Global, there are no hard long-term events or anything like that. The Legendary Goku event is a joke. There's almost no team in the game now that can't beat the Legendary Goku event outside of what, the Namekian team? Well, I'm sure they could probably beat it too. There are very few teams that could actually not beat the Legendary Goku event at this point. It's kind of a joke. The God of Destruction event is what we're really looking forward to later in July when the 60th anniversary comes out. That is by far the hardest, like, long scale event. It's like a mix of short and long scale. I think it's a great event. But outside of that, that's about it. And obviously, Extreme Super Battle Road, that's a whole nother thing as well. But, you know, the rest of the game is not hard. Dokkan events are a fucking joke. EZAs are a joke. And obviously, story events and quest stages, you know, those are all easy and everything. But, like, God, there's almost no difficulty to the game outside of maybe a few events, and that's about it. So, like I mentioned, if you were to be able to run, like, say, a full Vegito Blue team, or a full, like, just Vegito team in general, with all the Super Vegitos and Vegito Blues, it would also be, like, too easy. Plus, also consider the fact that, like, there would also be no composition of team building as well. You wouldn't be using multiple different characters. You would be only using the same character, just with different variants of each other, and that's it. Which is cool, but it's also kind of boring at the same time. Like, you know, I like the way you use your team, and you have all these different characters and whatnot, outside of, like, you know, transforming characters, because obviously they're an exception, right? But like I said, the game would become just far too easy. So I do like the fact that right now, links are kind of staying out of it. And it's not like a complete shaft either. Let's get that out of the way. It's not a complete shaft that they don't link up. It opens the door for a lot of different team building. Like, off the top of my head, of course, like, now you can run UI Goku as a Realm of Gods leader, post EZA, because he does go up to 160%. You can run him with like a friend AGL MUI Goku, and then you can also run STR UI Goku on a different rotation with another AGL MUI Goku, or vice, you know what I'm talking about, right? And vice versa. Same goes for, like, movie bosses, for example. Now you can run physical Dragon Ball Super Broly as the leader, obviously, and then also have Tech LR Legendary Super Saiyan Broly on the same team, and just have them on separate rotations. So yes, does it suck that you can't run them on the same rotation and have them link up? Yeah, it does. But you can run them on separate rotations, and you can have a wide different range of team building as well. So it's not like it's a complete shaft either. Let's get that out of the way. Like, let's read some of Garesh's things right here. The update has gone from hype to meh. Yeah, it would have been hype, but, like, guys, you gotta understand, the game would just, like I mentioned in my last video talking about the same name update, it would literally break the game in terms of just how easy the game would become if they were to link up after this, right? So that's my statement on the same name update. I'm not really too disappointed. I'm actually very excited to implement different teams. Now, obviously, this is coming out on JP in like a few days from now. Global, we're not getting this for probably another month, if not more, or something like that, because we just got our very own update today. So don't expect this until maybe, like, I expect this update to come before the 6-year anniversary. I just can't really say for sure when it will come. I say maybe roughly mid-April is a safe bet about when it would come, unless they just say fuck it and it comes out in a few weeks or something. But other than that, roughly this update is not going to come out until maybe a month or 2 months, or say, relatively. But then again, Global's always been quick with getting some of these updates, so we'll have to wait and see. But right now, this is a GP only thing. We'll wait and see after a few days to see how well it performs on JP. Again, I'm very excited for all the different team building we can do, so on and so forth. So let's quickly talk about some of the other things now. So we got some big news here. You can exchange your characters, your units, for coins now, finally. However, there is a catch, right? This is obviously very, very exciting, but there are 2 different requirements to doing this, right? First and foremost, the character that you are trying to trade in, so like this, they showed like the physical Nametsuga Kaioken Goku, right? If you can trade him in. However, there are two requirements. One, he must already be rainbowed in your bots, right? Your bots of characters. This physical Kaioken Goku must already be rainbowed in your bots, and then it has to come from the same banner. So if you pull, say, this physical Kaioken Goku right here on a legendary summon banner like LR Jiren, LR Turles, so on and so forth, you will be able to exchange him for gold coins. Now, how much gold coins we don't know yet. Roughly, it's probably going to be like maybe 1 to 5 or something like that, varying. But that's what it is. Those are the two main requirements right now. Number one is that the unit in your bots has to be rainbowed, and then it has to, depending on what banner you got this character from, then you can exchange it for that banner's coin. So even if you like summon on multiple different banners and you got physical Kaioken Goku on a legendary summon and a Dokkan Fest banner, like at the same time, for example, you can only get it if you got it from the Dokkan Fest banner. You can only exchange it for red coins. If you got it from the legendary summon banner, you can only exchange it for gold coins, so on and so forth. This update's pretty good. I definitely do like this a lot, but here's also another, like, there's a couple of issues that comes up with it. Number one, this is not free-to-play friendly at all. Well, it's free-to-play friendly, but at the same time, this is not meant for new players. This is definitely meant for us veteran players, like players that have been playing the game for like 3+ years now, that have definitely stacked up a lot of rainbow units in our boxes. Like, I know, or like, just look at Truth, for example. He rainbows every single unit. And then, like, for me, for example, I have a lot of rainbow units as well. And, like, there are probably units that you just can't stop pulling, especially on, like, Dokkan Fest banners, right? This is a great way to exchange, like, say, AGL transforming Goku, who's on like every global Dokkan Fest banner. I'm sure a lot of players have him rainbow. The next time he shows up on a banner and you pull him again, you can finally exchange him for red coins instead of Baba points. And that's the other main thing. You have to decide whether or not you want to trade in your SSRs for coins or Baba points. So like that's kind of like the main 2 points I want to bring up. But this is still very, very good nonetheless. A great update for, like I said, veteran players. But again, we'll have to wait and see for more details on how many coins we'll be able to get from this. I think the rumor is right now for like general SSR characters, you'll get 1 coin, and if you get like if you trade in a Dokkan Fest character, it's 5 coins, and if you trade in an LR, it is 15 coins, right? But again, the main thing you have to keep a note, that unit that you trade in must already be rainbowed in your bots. It has to be 100% the due system, full SA10, the whole bit, right? So that's the main thing you have to keep in mind. Even if they're not SA10 and you already have full dupes in them, just you have to revert back that character and throw them in as SA fodder. That's just how it is. It is what it is. It's not really a huge deal. I definitely do like this update a lot. Like I said, keen more towards veteran players and new players. And also, finally, multiple copies of the same character will now make a stat. So if you just keep pulling, like say for like whales or players that have saved up a lot of stones, and you just keep on pulling and pulling units, or even for free-to-play players as well, if you're grinding free-to-play units, for example, instead of just seeing 10 Gokus right here, now they'll stack up into one and you'll see 10 copies of that Goku. So that's pretty cool to see as well. Makes everything a little more organized instead of just having a complete jumbled mess in your bots. So that is obviously pretty exciting. And then finally as well, where is it? Right here, the Baton Battle thing. We don't really know much about this Baton Battle. It's a new update coming out on JP where it's like a chibi sort of thing where you go AFK, and depending on like what you do, you get various items thanks to these chibi style characters. Like it's very weird, it's very complicated. We don't know the full extent of what it does yet, but like once you go AFK, these chibi characters will get you items or something like that. It's definitely weird. We don't really know a whole lot about it right now. So I'll definitely make a video regarding what it actually is when the update comes out, right? So that's really it as far as the JP update goes. Now moving on to global very quickly. DBC Space hasn't updated yet, but the 4.14.3 update is out on global. So there's a couple of different things, right? So number one, we finally got the animation where, similar to how when you pulled LRs, the little LR flicker will pop up telling you, hey, you just pulled an LR. The same thing now applies for Dokkan Fest characters as well. When you pull a Dokkan Fest featured character, it will now pop up as this little thing once you pull him instead of just skipping over, right? So that is pretty cool to see. Optimize the missions tapes is no longer a percentage bar. It will now show you have to complete 1 out of 3. No more of the percentage bullshit, which is really, really nice to see. And then finally, you can also look and inspect at the Great Ape characters in the game as well. So that is pretty cool. Like the post transformation, especially this is more like a giant and rage form thing. They now have a separate tab where you see their artwork. So that is pretty cool to see as well. Also, on a side note, the reason, one of the main reasons why Global's update was for so long, not only because of the main 4.14.3 update, was that Global was also implementing the 6-year anniversary stuff early as well. They do this every year. They always implement the stuff way early on Global. Right here you see the revive mechanic where the chaos screen breaks and then you go revive with your character, like LR Master UI Goku, LR Blue Evolution Vegeta, so on and so forth. They also added support memories. Now, currently there is an issue on Global where if you use a support item in literally almost every event in the game will break and it'll close you out of the game. They still haven't fixed it yet, but I do believe the main reason is because they added support memory files into the game, which must have like screwed something up a bit. So until that's fixed, try not to use any support items. Especially if they did take out all the events that were having this issue, but please refrain from using support items just for like the next day or two while the devs try and fix this. And I think that about covers everything. Like I said, this main video was talking about, of course, the JP update, but obviously there's a couple of things that we had to go over. The same name update is, like I said, guys, it's not a letdown, okay? Does it suck? Yeah, but like I said, it would have literally broken the game. It actually would have. I definitely can see them adding links into the process, like maybe later in the year or something like that. I think right now the devs are just trying to test this out to see like what we do with it, how we work. Just let's make something abundantly clear. Dokkan listens to the JP player base, so if the JP players start complaining that they want the same name characters to link, I'm sure later in the year they will add that feature, right? And that's about it. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.